Yo, yo, yo. Back out here with the Buff Missionary. And I actually forgot one of the questions that was submitted yesterday. So we're going to come back and redo this thing again. Buff Missionary out here. Like, subscribe, share. You know how we roll. You know how we do. We out here. And if I'm being completely honest, this is probably the toughest question of all the ones, probably the best question out of all the questions that were put out there. And here's the question: what advice would you give an overthinker who is in a constant state of planning their lives and has a hard time taking a moment to truly enjoy anything? Now, this is tough. Oftentimes you hear people talk about the journey and the destination, right? And a lot of people think more on the destination, and they don't end up focusing so much on the elements of their day to day because they're like, whatever, it doesn't really matter. As long as they're moving in a certain direction, they're sure they'll get to where they're trying to go. But then you have the flip side of that, where some people will think more on the journey and they try to get the most that they can out of every waking moment, out of every day. And they're kind of more where they end up is where they were supposed to end up in the first place. And that, I think, there's a balance that I think needs to be had between the pursuit of that destination and that consistency of the journey, or the joy and the joy of the experience of that journey that needs to be had. And I think that's where we might be able to find something towards the answer to the question. Here's what I mean. You almost have to ask yourself the question: what is it that makes you overthink? What's the catalyst? What's the cause of this mentality that you find yourself in? What is the impetus for why do I need to plan everything? Is there some kind of fear that if I don't plan, I won't reach the goal? Is there something holding me back that says if I'm not grinding, if I'm not moving, then those goals are getting further and further away? The odd thing is, I think it's easy for us to think that because we're not doing anything, that we're actually working against ourselves. But I really don't think that that's always the case. I don't think that that's always true. For example, take running, all right? So I'm trying to train for a Spartan race. Many Spartan races. I got about 9 on the schedule for this year. And the first one coming up is going to be a half marathon, just over 13 miles. And knowing Spartan races is probably going to end up being around 15. I just started training running again a couple of weeks ago after the sun started coming out. Don't forget, I'm up here in Berrien Springs, Michigan, where it snows 9 months out of the year. All right, what is spring? What is fall? Nobody knows. Anyways, my workout routine, man, I sat down and I was trying to plan this thing out so well. Trying to be as efficient as possible. A lot of people were asking me questions about what I'm doing lately. And so I told them, like, here's my plan. I'm running 3 days a week. On the Sunday or the Monday is when I double the mileage or add 2 miles every week. That's the plan, because in 5 weeks is my first race, and the first one coming up is that half marathon. So today was running 4 miles, and yesterday I actually was walking 30 minutes uphill on a treadmill with a 30-pound weight vest on. After finishing the run today, I felt this tightness in my right calf. And I was like, ooh, man, that is not pleasant. I'm thinking about my goals. I'm thinking about the directions I'm trying to get to. I'm thinking about that goal of 5 weeks that I need to be doing whatever. And in my mind, it's like, you know what? Let me just brush it off and let me just keep on going strong. I have some other workouts I need to be doing today that involve my legs. So I just need to keep on pushing through, because if I don't, there's no way I'm going to make it to that goal. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized, you know what? It's okay to rest a little bit and enjoy the fact that I completed my first 4-mile run in 5 or 6 months, well, definitely since November or before that. But anyways, the point is, I realize that it's okay to not do a few minutes of jump rope. It's okay to not do a few minutes of plyometric training to get the rest and enjoy the fact that I completed the longest run that I had in a while. It's okay to take a break because the time is still going to be there. And oftentimes what you find in exercise is that resting is exactly what you need to put yourself in a better position to get your next workout or the next day even stronger. So I can be in a constant state of planning out what my workout routine is going to be, but here's the thing. If I never take the time to learn how to enjoy the small victories here, how am I going to be able to enjoy the destination when I get there? Better yet, if I'm unable to enjoy the little things about my day-to-day experience, and I'm just overthinking to the point where I'm continuing to work and continue to plan, is that end goal ever something that I reach? Or is my mind ever able to make tangible an end goal that I can work to, that when I get there, I'll be like, okay, I can stop and enjoy this? Because the art of appreciation and the art of rest, those are things that aren't just going to happen when you reach some super end goal. That's also a skill. Underrated, and people don't look at it this way, but it's also a skill that you have to practice on your way towards that goal. So when you get to that goal, you can rest and you can enjoy it and you can appreciate it. There's a lot of people out there. You look at the world, society today, and they just keep going. They don't stop. You have the stories about people like The Rock and others who talk about, man, Kobe, that was my guy, but you have these stories that they talk about going to sleep super late, only getting a few hours of sleep. Idris Elba is another one, great actor, and he talks about sleep less. He has a whole video on YouTube about sleep less. And it's like you're grinding so much and you're grinding so hard, and it doesn't mean that what you're working towards isn't worth it. It is. But when you're working so hard, does that grind end up burning you out so you never get to enjoy the thing which you're trying to work towards? I think that's what I need to weigh if I'm looking at where I am now and enjoying the progress or the thing that I've accomplished now in my overthinking. I have to tell myself that, because this is coming from somewhere deep inside me that's continuing to tell me I can't afford to take a break. I can't afford to take a rest. I have to keep pushing. I have to keep grinding, or else I'm not going to get there. But what we have to realize is that's the very mindset that keeps you from ever getting there. That's the very mindset that makes it impossible to have a goal that you'll be satisfied with in life. You're always going to want to keep pushing for more, and any goal that you reach is not going to be good enough. So again, we got to learn to be able to appreciate the small victories, to take a moment and say, you know what, this is going to be my day where I enjoy this. I'm not going to plan anything. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to completely switch up the thing. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go for a swim. I'm going to go for a run. But I'm going to put this stuff aside, and I'm going to reflect, and I'm going to be intentional about looking back on the things that I've been able to accomplish and the things that I know I'll be able to do in the future whenever they come. So, getting back to the Spartan race thing to kind of conclude the thought here. I'm not looking to be the absolute best in the first race that I get to. So, I'm not going to train and kill myself to train and not even be able to finish that first race. That's going to be a litmus test to show me how I can improve more. So I'm celebrating the 4 miles today. Next week, I hope to celebrate the 6 miles. In 5 weeks, hopefully I can celebrate finishing that first race, even though I know I'm not going to be near the top of the pack. But that's okay. If I can make it through that race, I can celebrate that. And then, after enjoying that, resting, recuperating, appreciating that moment, I'm going to take stock of what's going on and look at how I can improve in my training to work harder for the next one that comes. But I have to be intentional about that. Otherwise, I'm not going to. I hate running. I already hate running. So if I'm not intentional to appreciate the fact of what I'm able to accomplish, I'm going to quit. It's that simple. So be intentional. Don't let that fear creep in and fool you into thinking that you can't afford to take a break. You can. You can. And remember, you have to develop the skill of appreciation, because if you don't, it'll be hard to ever find it. So I hope you find that helpful. Not just the person who asked that question, but any of y'all listening. Once again, it's the Buff Missionary. We out here. Like, subscribe, share. Let somebody know what's good. Leave a comment below. Is there something that you're struggling with? Something that you have a question about? Drop it in the comments below. I'll hit them up. And until next time, we out here and we out.